All right, here we go. Get ready to have a good time. This is exciting, isn't it?
All right, we're on. Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Garry.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Garry.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's Garry Meier.
3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the September 30th, 2022 edition of the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour Live.
Cocktails, ooh, drinks.
And with a great amount of luck, we're starting the stream on time at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain, 3 Pacific, 2 Alaskan, and noon in Hawaii. And please forgive me for lingering over images of my visits to the 49th and 50th states during the past year, as the last few days are some I'd prefer to forget, except for how lucky my immediate neighborhood seems to have been as that whom I have named Unwelcome Ian, that decimated large swaths of my adopted home state of Florida, all the way from the Gulf of Mexico to the Atlantic, before heading up to the Carolinas, Virginia, and other points north. Now more than ever, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. Before Gary's mic goes live, remember, the GarrForce Live YouTube channel is our preferred streaming platform. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when we're live. Catch up on past shows there too. Like and share our show on all the social media channels. During the live show, we can even see your comments on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, which means we may show them on the screen and or talk about them. Now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Live. Boom. Shakalaka. Blah, blah, blah. Craziness. Hey everybody, welcome to the home of the kissing schnauzers. Woo! Yeah. Okay, let's get started here. I got Jenna Duddleston coming up with a Dreamsicle drink. I love Dreamsicles as an ice cream treat. As a drink, that's got to be fantastic, as Jenna will show us in just a few minutes. And Leslie's got to jump on so we can get this thing going. Let me kick the tires and light the fires. I'll do that part of it. And then we're wheels up, but it's not really wheels up on the cocktail show. The fires have been lit until Leslie removes that condom. Remove that condom. Remove that condom.
And look at this, kids.
Wow.
Oh, we have some serious.
Yeah, you know what? That's because the hurricane throws things up into the rest of the country. When it's stirring, the whole country gets a taste. And your bottle is tasting it right now.
I got a category 3 wine condom going on.
Yeah, looks like it. That thing's going to go.
I'm going to aim it at y'all.
There it is. There it is. Where will it go? Oh, God, help. Oh, on the shoulder. That's the first time.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know what I got to say?
I know you do.
Let's face it, kids, you all who've been listening for a while know that I'm Catholic. And with that, we don't waste stuff. We feel guilty if we use things inappropriately. This condom probably needs to be retired because I've been using it for a long time now. Okay. And I think it's lost a little bit of its oomph.
Yeah, it's not even clearing your body.
No, it kind of is.
But I like that. It just bounced on your shoulder.
I'm seeing an autograph on eBay with it at Leslie. That's what you got to do with it.
That's
raise some funds,
package.
Autograph it, put it up on eBay.
There you go.
Or in the prize package. We're giving one away later with something else out of her fun bag.
Yeah.
Hey,
here's a freshie for you. There,
yeah,
right there.
That one's still wrapped. Let me identify some people who have checked in already, and then we're going to get into the meat of the program. David R., Oak Lawn, Illinois. He says, hey, we got some very wet East Coast schnauzers out there, and he'd like to help any way he can to provide them comfort. Oh, wait,
Kellyanne really has to start this. Let's put that up. We nearly got caught in Hurricane Ian. Good news, we found a Waffle House open. Bad news, Jim Cantori and the Weather Channel just pulled up and my schnauzer wet itself. Yeah. Hey, a lot of listeners sent me that Jim Cantori vid where he's hit by the tree branch. Love it. He's a hero. He's a hero.
Thank God he's out there, because otherwise we wouldn't know that hurricanes are very, very windy.
Right. And when he fought his way,
the Lord's work, Jim.
Right, through the wind to get back to somewhere that was safe. What a hero. What a hero. Hey, put David's back up there, his comment, please, Alan, because I cut it off, and let's get the full blast of it. Starting a rescue service for all those unfortunate, homeless, lonely, and very wet, very, very wet East Coast schnauzers. Hello from Oakland, Illinois. Well, that's so kind of you, David. Charles,
helping people.
Charles from WRLR, Lake Villa, Illinois. He works at that radio station. I believe it's in Crystal Lake, Illinois. He's a brother in sound. And Lloydster, he's at Hurricane Command Center, and he's going to step out of the way and show some of the damage.
There you go.
With his MFR, his Motherfucker 2000 Hurricane Command Mobile Center. And show you the stock footage. Lynn from Dacula, Georgia. Is it Dacula or Dacula?
I think Dacula rhymes with Dracula.
Yes, it does. That certainly does. But I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Linda from Chicago. Deb from Des Plaines, Illinois, the home of the $1.3 billion mega ticket.
Have they called us yet? Because we're hoping that they become permanent donors. So they get one of those little slides at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation. We'll give you one of those, the anonymous lottery winners of Des Plaines.
Right. Thank you very much. Samantha from Mundelein, Illinois. Anthony. And he said, this is the season of the witch. And Jenna's going to talk about how she's going to be a witch later today. Dale, Brian says, hola. Hola. Russell, Stephen from Palos Heights, Illinois. Anna, Johnny from Michigan. And Martin, British Columbia. He's always checking in. Happy to do that. Hey, I'm going to the screen door, but look, my screen door had a baby. Hey, look at my screen door is not so polluted it can't have a baby.
Hey, before you go to the screen door, I was looking at the comments here. Mac has asked if he's going to Disney World tomorrow. He wants to know if everything's up and running. And the answer is, yeah, everything reopened today. Make sure you have those park reservations because they still require those.
Okay, and Alan's going to update the whole Orlando scene in just a minute here. Karen, Ona's checking in. Someone need witch lessons? Ona's tarot. That's got to do with witching, right?
I would think.
Jade, Jim from Pahrump, Nevada. Doug, 847. You know how I know Pahrump? Remember that guy who did the all-night radio show about UFOs and things?
He was a very kooky individual.
Art Bell. Yeah, and he was in Pahrump. Susan, longtime listener. Susan, good to see you. Larry and the little baby store.
Is there some sort of sign at the top of the baby?
Yes, it says welcome.
Door? Oh,
well, welcome.
Isn't that just friendly?
Is that a Christmas ornament, Gary? Looked like it had a little hanger on the top.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Jim Foster, my good friend, former producer Jim Foster, checking in. Eric Lamont. And yes, thank you. Congratulating the birth of the screen door.
It's a sweet thing.
Nice. Ellen.
You know, I got a new mat for my front door, and I decided that welcome might not necessarily be the case with some people who show up there. So it just says hello now. I think that's a safer way to greet people.
How's that? What's the diff?
I don't know that they're necessarily welcome.
Oh.
It indicates that I would want to open the door for you, but instead it just says hello.
Okay, yeah, and then you'll decide if they're welcome.
There you go.
Cheers, Leslie.
Cheers, Garry.
Oh, okay. The Manhattan. There's a Luxardo cherry at the bottom of that. with my name on it that I'll enjoy a little later on. And Mark and Sue from Iowa, biatches. Ellen, jump on. Let's get the post-mortem on what happened to Orlando. So did Orlando not suffer as much as they predicted, or did they say Orlando wasn't going to get hit so badly? Ellen, you're muted.
Orlando got hit pretty hard. My neighborhood right behind Magic Kingdom did not, but the pictures I've seen out of some of the northern areas, Daytona Beach, places that have older trees, the old oak trees, my community's brand new. It's under 10 years old, so nothing here is really all that frail, because the oak trees get frail the longer they're in the sandy soil that we have here. But no, there's extensive flooding and extensive trees down and massive power outages. But knock on something or other, my community's in pretty good shape. I walked it this afternoon. I saw like one house with a few shingles off, which I don't think it was like that last week. That's new damage, because there were a couple of shingles on my lawn. There's a few old trees around lakes. There's a big old tree that's down here. But my neighborhood held up remarkably well.
Yeah, you didn't have a boat in your front yard that you didn't own 3 days ago.
No, and I think I texted you at some point. My friend Big Fat Panda, who's been on the show before, he has a niece who also lives in the area, and they had a gator just walking up to the front of the house, I suppose, trying to get some shelter.
Let me in. It's scary out here.
Yeah.
He posted that on Facebook. It's a great photo. Hey, question, because we discussed that this week about the van. You find a van on the side of the road. The driver has died of a heart attack. The back is filled with money. What do you do? In a case of a post-hurricane, a new yacht shows up in your driveway. Is it a case of finders keepers?
Can you
take the
homestead
VIN off of it?
Well, I was going to say the inquisitive mind that I have, I found a ring on my driveway some years ago, and I actually looked up what the Florida law says about it. And the answer is, if you find it, you got to report it to the cops. Now, the more interesting question is, if you find the boat in your living room, can you then find the owner to sue them to put your living room back the way it was?
There you go.
And the more expensive the boat, the more likely they'll be able to afford to put your living room back together.
What is the legal read on that, you being a lawyer?
What's that? If the boat's flying?
The boat ends up in your house.
Like anything else, if they were negligent, you need to prove it. And we've got plenty of ambulance chasers down here with the billboards along the interstates to say they'll take on your case.
So your area looked like, just a bad thunderstorm could have done that tree in.
Oh, I was going to say, this was no thunderstorm, believe me.
Okay, now I asked, were you asked to evacuate in your area?
No, the evacuations come along the coasts. And here in Orlando, we're right in the middle. I mean, I'm almost exactly halfway between the Gulf and the Atlantic. And they ask people to evacuate from the areas where they're going to get high tide and get storm surge, and we don't get that. So most folks here don't evacuate. In fact, I was very impressed today how I didn't see any boarded up homes, and during some previous hurricanes, I've seen boarded up homes. We're not allowed to have, in my community and in the communities around here, we're not allowed to have those permanent shutters that you see along the coastal communities. And the best explanation I've ever gotten for that is because we're so far inland, these things aren't as severe when they get here. But
why would they care if you wanted to put those shutters on? Why would
Garry, you've not lived in a homeowners association, have you? Well, you have. You've lived in a condo, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the white stones on your lawn.
I
don't
know,
like the pink flamingo.
Wait,
it's the same. It's the same insanity. No. Homeowners associations are insane. They do it under the guise of trying to keep things nice and pretty and keep resale values up. But somebody who doesn't like white stone or doesn't like pink flamingos or yellow pansies, they're gonna rue the day.
So has anybody bitched about the sign that you have in your front yard, which pretty much says, I'm a lawyer And if you muck with me, I'm so gonna sue your pants off. Isn't it?
That sign's
I'm
actually
paraphrasing here.
that sign's actually in my garage at the moment. You reminded me when you were talking about the welcome mat that I need to bring it back out, because I figured if any solicitor wanted to come to the door in the hurricane, they were certainly more than welcome. But no, and you know, my sign has done an awesome job repelling people, which
Okay.
my next door neighbor likes sitting in the window watching as they come up to my front door, read the sign, turn around, and leave.
What does it say?
I have a sign that says solicitors not welcome, and then it's got a lot of legalese that basically says if you're coming to my front door, you agree to pay me $500.
Wow.
And that's enough. That's enough right there that says.
Okay.
I'm not going to mess with this.
At the height of Ian, you're in your home. What is it, Wednesday night was the apex in your area. What was happening? What was it sounding like? What's going on there?
The comparison, and this is now the fourth one I've had, the second direct hit, and the comparison that has stood for each of them is it reminds me of the worst blizzards in Chicago in terms of the sounds, right? You get those howling sounds, you get those sounds of things pelting on your windows, which is the rain, you know, beating against the windows. And you know, some bizarro creaks and moans that the house will make as it is getting beaten up by 100-mile-an-hour winds. But I have one small area in the back of my house that has no windows, and that's where basically I set up an air mattress and a TV. And since the Wi-Fi was working, I was able to stream our local news there. And when they were getting annoying, which they did every few minutes, I watched other programming. Since
you said an alligator was at the front door of your
niece's house, yeah,
your friend there, and an alligator's at a front door in Florida every day, so that's not unusual. But there were sharks and other aquatic life that normally aren't where they were.
I didn't see any reports here in Orlando, though. I think it's a little too far for them.
Right. In Tampa, I guess they don't get sharks in the bay there. It's too shallow, but they had sharks in the water there. And I also saw where the population of that Tampa St. Pete area over the last 50 years has increased by 600%. Now, the question is,
well, and that's true here too. I mean, when I moved here, there was nobody else on my block.
Right. And I was saying to people, if you looked at the report in a newspaper 100 years ago, that's all there would be, of a tornado or a hurricane going through Florida, it would be about $500 in damage because nobody was living there.
Right.
This is something that's been happening since the beginning of time, and people keep flocking to these areas where there are natural disasters, not unnatural.
But the interesting thing from a graphic point of view that the TV news did get my attention on was when they showed Charlie, which was the last major one that came all the way inland and hit Orlando. The eye of Charlie, the entire storm of Charlie, I should say, fit within the eye of this storm of Ian. Charlie was a tight, compact storm. This was a sprawling, slow-moving storm. I mean, it was moving at 8 miles an hour. You were texting me earlier in the night asking me, you know, what the status was, and I'm like, it's still hours away. And even that forecast turned out to be wrong by hours because that storm moves so slowly. And in a way, that's bad for a lot of places because they're getting soaked. In terms of wind damage for me here in the middle, that's great because that allows friction to rip up the storm. And that's I mean, what happened with Irma pretty much seems to have happened here, where the harshest winds as they got to my neighborhood were ripped apart by the peninsula.
Okay, which again goes.
Of course, now they've gone. I was going to say they've gone back together, and now they're attacking the Carolinas and Virginia. So.
Okay, but hurricanes are going to keep coming, and who's going to absorb the cost of rebuilding every time? Fort Myers, that they're talking billions, and you think these insurance companies can absorb all that? So the government's going to have to step in, as they always do, and start repairing. But it seems silly to keep putting that many people in an area that's susceptible to this kind of thing. Same people that are moving to the desert out in the Southwest, and the water is going away because it's the desert. Right. I mean, somebody's got to go, maybe we shouldn't be living here in these numbers. Now, you have building codes that are probably more strict than they were 30 years ago.
Well,
so
yeah, I get a
discount.
I get a discount on my insurance because the house is built to a certain wind standard.
Okay. Somebody's asking here, do you have ties on the house? Were they I'm sure that all those things are
No, it
as
has.
part of new construction.
Well, I was going to say the way the house is built, it involves the shape of the roof and things like that, and I mean, like I said, where I am here in the middle, the chances of a hurricane still being Category 3 or better are not so good. I mean, the storm very much rapidly decelerated once it got just one county south of me.
Is the insurance exceptionally high down there? Is that the deal?
Not here in the middle, but over on the coasts, yes.
So
right?
do you think half the people don't even get it because they can't afford it, and therein lies that issue?
If you're gonna, you could bring David Hochberg back and we can have a real happy talk. But in a lot of places, if you don't have an insurance contract on the house, your mortgage lender is not going to underwrite the loan. So I mean that becomes a complicated scenario, and the difficulty is, and this is 20 years of data that goes back before I moved here. Florida had such high premiums that so many of the companies went out of business after paying out on Charlie and Andrew and those hurricanes of the 80s and 90s, that the state is the insurer of last resort. And it doesn't, as you may imagine, doesn't do a very good job of that, because most states don't do very good jobs of things that provide for their people. We don't talk politics on the show, so I won't go any further with that.
The other interesting point, or one of the other interesting points, the people who are asked to evacuate and don't, and you hear these stories of all these people that are asking to be rescued, and now you've got that situation where the bridge is out, and these people are on the island, and they're cut off. I would imagine they were told to evacuate because they're on an island, and because this could have happened, and did.
Yeah, and like I said, when I chose to move to Florida, I chose to move to the middle. People are like, "Don't you want to hang out at the beach?" And I'm not a beach person. And you're right. When you move to the beach, it comes with that added set of risks.
Okay, so something I learned in the last couple hurricanes, if you are in that kind of path, you might want to own an extra ladder and a chainsaw, because they're saying if you take yourself up into the attic, it can possibly be the worst place you should be unless you have a ladder and a chainsaw, i.e., you can cut the hole in the roof and take the ladder and sit up there until somebody comes and rescues you so you don't drown. So
and the ladder, I guess, Leslie, should have a hook on it so you can hook it to the peak of the roof as a seat.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
It's people helping people once again.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Okay. Yeah, you got to have insurance to buy a house. I understand that, but even if you do and you're completely wiped out, you're not going to get all that you need to rebuild. And those Fort Myers pictures, oh my God, where do you even begin?
Right.
And the insurance policies do come with big deductibles. My homeowner's insurance policy has a big deductible on hurricane damage.
Okay, again, Florida was swamps and Everglades and all that for the most part until about 50 years ago. Walt Disney jump-started the whole damn state when he went down there and put Disney World in the middle.
And kudos to his people for picking such a good spot so far.
Yeah, but again, if it wasn't for Disney World, who could afford to do what needed to be done? And he was smart because he had other corporations go in, other names, not Disney, not Walt Disney, to buy up the land, because if they knew it was him, they would have jacked up the price. They were better not knowing it was him, because he did what needed to be done to get that going.
Think about places that have developed in the years and decades since, like Houston and Arizona, where it's air conditioning that pushed it, right? So if Disney hadn't come here, the interesting thing that you think about is that the middle of Central Florida wouldn't have gotten developed like it has. I mean, Orlando was a cowboy town, right? Lots of horse farms and cows and pastures. There's still cows and pastures and dead orange groves because the orange trees were all killed in a frost in the mid-1980s. But if Disney hadn't built here, then there might not be anything here in the middle, and there may be that many more people on the coasts. So there might be that many more people in the way of these storms because, people want to live on the beach.
Yeah, I know
this
that.
This is where folks in Idaho are going, yep, that's kind of why we're where we're at. And please don't come here and don't plan on doing any kind of renovations.
Enough of this commentary. We want to have some fun, damn it. I just wanted to make sure Alan was okay.
So I can leave you guys on. I can leave you guys on the screen and go have my bourbon now that I didn't have in the middle of the storm.
And have a good show.
Have a good show.
Alan, you took those pictures that you showed us today?
Yeah,
Could that sky be any bluer?
No, I mean it's absolutely remarkable that after the storm, I mean the weather today is absolutely fantastic. It's in the mid 70s. There's no humidity. It's
humidity.
Well, I mean for Orlando, you as a Chicagoan might think there's humidity, but after living down here for 8 years, it's it's very, very comfortable out today.
It's below 97 or something.
I was going to say, it's. Well, I usually have the temperature at the ready, but let's see, it's 76 degrees, and the real feel is 77 degrees. So that tells you just how
Disney World is open.
Yeah, Disney reopened today with some staggered hours, but tomorrow they're going back to regular schedule. In fact, I plan to go to Epcot tomorrow. I have that reservation that I made 3-4 months ago because tomorrow is Epcot's 40th anniversary. Walt Disney World is 51 tomorrow, and Epcot is 40.
Yep. All right.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Epcot.
Okay. All right. Leslie, as
happy drinking, everyone. I'll be around in the background.
Glad that, because here's the dealio. Keith is not available. He's the backup producer if Ellen can't do it. And then Wednesday, Ellen said, I might not be able to do it. We might have to cancel. And I thought, well, we've got Jenna, and I'd like to have my cocktails with people, so I don't think I have a problem.
She's making what, dreamsicles? Is that what?
Yes. We'll find out.
But then Gary kicked in the hazard pay, and I'm making 3 times this week what I usually make.
That's right. That's right. Roasted.
So with that, we should mention this. I'm going to go a little out of sequence here, but before we bring Jen on, the other thing that really had everybody going wackadoo this week was the Florida reporter, who is now responding after footage of her holding a condom-covered microphone set the internet on fire. Kayla Gaylor had the unfortunate task of getting out in the middle of the hurricane as part of NBC2's coverage of the storm. And to do so, she protected herself and her equipment using what she and others say are best standards. That included covering her microphone in something that would protect it from the elements while allowing sound to pass through. In other words, a condom. Says Ms. Gaylor, it helps protect the gear. You can't get these mics wet. There's a lot of wind and a lot of rain, so we got to do what we got to do, and that's put a condom on the microphone. No word, though, on why they opted for one with a reservoir tip, and I think that might be the issue.
In case she had so many words, and they had to contain them in that tip. There were so many.
There you go. The microphone was so excited at her reporting that it just built up like my condom.
Do you know if she rolled it on the mic on camera?
I do not think she did.
Okay.
And now I have had personal experience with a condom-covered microphone when, because of a previous job, I was goaded into going down a 6-story tall water slide and broadcasting while I did it. The engineer on duty very meticulously did cover his microphone, or my microphone, with condoms, top and bottom, and rubber band them in the middle, and handed it off to me and said, yep, best practices.
It begs the question, Leslie, how do you talk into the microphone if it's covered by a condom and have any kind of reception that will be heard and audible?
Well, and that's a funny thing, because generally when one uses a condom, one is not talking through it, or nobody's listening through it.
Sometimes there's role playing. Ladies and gentlemen.
It turns out that sound does travel through microphones.
Really?
And I can say that unequivocally because I have a CD somewhere of
it seems like it would be so thick that it would just kind of muffle everything.
Not thick enough. So sound passes where sperm doesn't. We learned that on the show today. See, you're learning things left
and much thicker. And much thicker is a Ziploc bag, and I use that on my iPhone in rainstorms, and it works just fine. You can touch the iPhone through it. You can hear through it. The mic picks stuff up.
What was that bumper sticker idea you just threw out? Sperm is thicker than words, or words?
I don't know. What did I? You know what? Everybody, just play back the podcast today, and you'll hear it. And somebody's going to make a T-shirt out of it. Probably.
You know what we should do, Leslie? Do you have your microphone there behind the screen? There, you should.
Yes.
You could show us how you put the condom on the microphone and talk through it.
I'm sorry, but a
That
wine
one
condom.
won't fit, right?
Yeah,
That's too
not going to
small.
happen.
That's
Yeah.
too small. That's what she said.
You
Hey,
know,
couple.
I'm going to try and find the audio of that, of me going down the water slide. And if I can, we'll share it maybe on the
Okay.
podcast this
All
week.
right. A couple things. Tracy checked in there. She'd like to see me try to do it. Okay. I don't have a condom handy. And
Oh,
and I want to thank Tracy. I got a raspberry Kringle from Tracy, so I'm
yes.
Kringled
Thank
again.
you.
Scott
you,
is calling
Tracy.
us. Scott is calling us shock jocks.
What? This is no. This is science. This is engineering.
Dieter, award-winning, Academy Award-winning Dieter Sturm, 101 uses for, put it on the screen there, condoms. I use the condoms for special effects bullet hits, taped on actors that held the fake blood. Wow.
Aren't those squibs? Isn't that what they
Squibs,
called
yes.
it in the biz? Squibs?
Dieter, we want to see more vid of raccoons on your back deck. That's one of our favorite things. Yeah, we have shown these vids that he posts of raccoons. He feeds them, and they're coming in droves onto his back deck. Raccoons, aren't they rabid?
Sometimes, and sadly, the only way to know is by cutting off their head. So maybe he wants to dial that back a little bit.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. So we're guaranteed to have a good time here when we have Jenna Duddleston on.
Yay,
she is the official
Jenna.
bartender of this organization. And every month we bring Jenna on to feature a drink, and we're just getting September in. This is it. Just a few hours left on this month. Wow. What the hell happened here?
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Can we add a day just for the hell of it? Come on. What's September 31st? Just give us one more.
One more day. One more. Jenna, how are you?
I am good, and I'm with you. I can't believe that tomorrow's October. Like, I don't know where this entire month went. Like, it's just gone.
Yeah,
like
the pandemic.
Yeah.
The tail of the pandemic is whipping around, and it's jostled us to where time is all goofed up.
Yeah. Time isn't real. I think if I've learned anything from the pandemic, it's that time is a giant illusion, and it just doesn't exist. Like,
right.
It just
Good
doesn't
way to
exist.
live.
Yeah. Great way to live.
What's Salty Beach?
That's some deep shit.
I am a salty beach. I am a salty beach is what I am, Gary.
Oh, okay.
It was also the clean thing on top of my drawer. So that's what I grabbed.
Okay.
When I was getting ready to come on.
Beach. All right. Thank you for that explanation.
Anytime.
And Dreamsicle is what you're
Dreamsicle.
featuring.
Yes. So my cousin loves to send me cocktail ideas, and he saw this one on TikTok, and I was like, "Ugh, rum chata, like an orange Fanta." I was like, "All right, let's give it a try." So I tried, and I was very happy with the outcome. So basically, take your ice, okay, add your ice into your glass. We're going to do this a little bit backwards today. You're going to take your Fanta, fill it up just a little over about like 3/4 of the way. Add your rum chata, okay? We're going to do about 2 ounces to 1.5 ounces. It depends on the size of your glass, I'll say. And then what you are going to do next, so it doesn't sit, is take a stirring spoon and you're going to stir it around. You want to do this again because you're adding like a cream to this. So obviously sometimes with this, it can get a little funky. Just because it looks funky doesn't mean it's bad. So just a heads up for anyone who's doing that. And then that's it, guys. Like, look at how pretty that looks. And I swear, like, hold on. It tastes just like
I love
an orange creamsicle. I cannot believe how good it is. And it's so simple. And honestly, like, these are just 2 ingredients that you can keep in your house. Like a nice little end of the day dessert cocktail for you. Fall is officially here. And sometimes you just want a little bit of a taste of summer. And I feel like this is it.
And it is, in fact, fall for Jenna tonight because she's going to dress as a witch. And why are you doing that?
I am dressing. This is my witch hat that I wear, guys. So I have my dress over there. I have my broom in my cupboard, along with the cat that will be coming with me. But I am a huge Hocus Pocus fan. And for the last 5 years, my family and I, look at that cat, Alan, I love it. We have a Hocus Pocus party every year where we watch the movie. We all dress up like witches and we basically just get really wasted. So this year we are having a watch party in her backyard on a like giant blow up screen because Hocus Pocus 2 came out today on Disney Plus. So I have my witch costume. I'm so excited to go. And I don't know if anyone who's watching this has watched it yet, but I'm curious to see if it's any good. I mean, it's a sequel that's 30 years in the making, which is crazy.
I don't remember.
I'm
the
8
first
minutes
one.
in.
Who was in the first one? Explain what it is.
Same cast.
It's the same cast. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and I can't think of the
Caffeine
third
and
woman's
Jimmy.
name. Thank you. And basically, it's the story of a family who moves to this town, and there's this ghost story, and you can't light the black candle on Halloween if it's lit by a virgin. These witches come back, and the witches come back, and they basically, in the first Hocus Pocus, like put them to rest, and the good guys come out on top. But I don't know what the storyline is with this one, but the witches are back, and Bette Midler's back, and they're all back. So it's gained like a cult following. Like when it first came out, it actually flopped. It was kind of like It's a Wonderful Life. Like no one really liked it when it first came out, and then over time it's gotten more and more popular year in and year out, and people just love it now. So the fact that they are having a sequel, I bet when they first made it, they never thought that was even possible.
It was because it was kind of one of those that wasn't quite a kids movie,
right?
But kids loved it. I mean, there were some adult themes, i.e. the whole virgins having to light the candle business. And as a parent, it was one of those where it's like, do I let my kid watch it or don't I? I can tell you because I started watching it earlier this afternoon. I'm about 8 minutes in. And so they give you a lot of the backstory of the three sisters, and that's where I'm going to leave it because, well, hell, go watch it. It's there. It's on Disney Plus.
Here's what I was watching right before we went on. I've seen this movie before, The Bling Ring. Have you ever seen this movie?
No.
It's about this band of spoiled little shits in Hollywood that would break into stars' homes, rob. True story.
Yes.
True story. Right.
When they would look on the internet to see if they were out of town, and these celebrities would always post, "Hey, I'm going to Paris for a fashion show," and then these people would go, "Oh, she's going to be out of town about 5 days. Let's go rob her house." The point that really stuck with me, didn't these celebrities have any kind of security? It seemed like these people were going in through the windows that were unlocked, a key under the mat by the front door. Gee, you wouldn't leave it there, would you? Yeah.
Well, the Bling Ring started when social media really started to kick off, and people were using it as like they were branding themselves. So everyone was telling you, like, this is where I am. So why would you need security back at home when you need the security with you? But again, that's like they just outsmarted them, which is crazy. For a while. Yeah.
And as we pointed out, I mean, how many of these homes have like 17 access routes? So it's easier to find a sliding door. When you have 8 patio doors leading to the pool, chances are one of them may be open. But the other thing Jenna mentioned before we went on, you've been on TikTok looking up some Japanese lore.
Yeah. So one of the guy's name is Pop Culture Patty. And there is this, I guess we'll call it Japanese folklore of Sanpaku. I hope I'm saying it right, where based off of the person's eyes, you can tell that they are going to either die very early or something destructive is going to happen to them in life. And the people that have had these eyes are Princess Diana or Lady Diana, Michael Jackson, Marilyn Monroe, John F. Kennedy, and the person that they're saying this is going to happen to next is Billie Eilish, because Billie Eilish has this type of eye. So I'm going to try to explain it with my eyes, but the color of my eye underneath it, it's not very white, but the way that a person's eyes sit, there's a lot of white underneath, like an insane amount that says that they have this Sanpaku Japanese curse that says you're going to die either early or like some kind of destructive death. So again, it's folklore. But when you look at the list of people, I was looking at it, and it's
They all died young.
yeah, they all died young, or
Relatively
they
young.
all died of like some type of tragic death, which
Right.
is just crazy to think about.
And
So
Billie Eilish.
yeah,
Name theory?
Eilish. But then Leslie, what did you say about
There's
one of
another
the
angle that
Beatles?
Leslie brought up.
You
Now-
brought up another angle, yeah.
The first time I heard about this, there is supposedly a story that when Yoko Ono first met John Lennon, she said, "You have this senpaku thing going on, and oh my God, be careful because you're probably going to die young." And as a matter of fact, now that I pulled it up on Wikipedia, and of course we believe everything we see there, John Lennon mentioned senpaku in one of his songs from the 1973 album Mind Games. So there you have it.
Okay, so let's all check here. Do any of us? Well, the fact is, there's no chance of me dying young. I'm already, I'm safe there. So
relatively.
Right. What about anybody else in the crew here?
I think my eyes are fine. I have very, very little bit of white, but when I smile, it's just like all.
Okay.
I also have big eyes though, so I think I'm good.
Alan and Ryan, we got to check them to make sure they're okay because they're
Are they
young.
good?
I think we're safe.
I think we're safe.
Okay,
Wasn't there some other indication that shows you're a serial killer with the
Oh,
eyes?
the serial killer one was if you have a lot of white on top.
On top.
And Charles Manson was that. So again, it's like it has there's a link because they always say like the eyes are the window to the soul, and it tells a lot about a person. And apparently, based off the way your eyes fall, can tell either which road you're going to go down in life.
Wow. See, some people say you don't learn anything by listening and watching the show, but we do. Who was the first to go on the wine condom craze or the condom craze? The show, and now they're putting them on microphones and who knows what.
We are educating people while giving them a delicious drink to enjoy it all, guys.
Right.
And talking about witches.
Who brought up large scrotums? This show. And now watch, there's going to be a fever of large scrotums.
Wait, okay. Oh my God. So I saw a story today. I believe it was a post on Reddit that during World War II, some people who were working as in very complicated jobs where they might be captured working as spies, I guess, had fake scrotums with cameras or radios installed in them in case they were taken by the enemy, with the belief that back then they weren't into doing strip searches with the same kind of thoroughness that they do now. And the belief was that men weren't apt to be touching each other's junk. And so they fitted them with these fake scrotums. More scrotum talk. Look at us.
Nice.
Here we are.
Hey,
Also, if you see someone that has a sagging scrotum, what is really going to make you want to touch it?
You want to touch it?
Hey, let me introduce you to AM and FM. Hey. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, exactly. When some guy is getting static from his pants, that's going to be a bad date right there.
Yeah. Woo.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I didn't know any of that eye stuff before you all started talking about it. So I'm going to keep an eye on that with some people.
Keep an eye.
Lordy.
All right.
Keep an eye.
Thank you. Jenna will talk to you next month.
Yes.
And that's her podcast.
Thank you for having me on, guys. I appreciate
Always
it.
a
Love coming, hanging out with the crew. Never a dull moment.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's check Ryan's eyes, make sure he's okay. He's still young.
I'm all good. I'm all good.
He's got the good eyes. All right.
Yes. So I have a few things since we were still talking a little about hurricanes. If Alan want to put it up, I had shared this picture with you earlier, Gary, of how to secure your trampoline.
Okay. Say you have a trampoline and you're in Hurricane Alley. What do? Well, you turn the trampoline over and put the car on it.
Good call.
Very clever.
Yes, so there's no problems there. And then this one, I saw it was on the local Wisconsin news. It said, well, if you're leaving your house and there's a storm, you're supposed to put this in your freezer, and then you can come back, and if the quarters all the way melt all the way down, the food isn't safe to eat. If it's part way down, it might be okay to eat. So that was on the news in Wisconsin. Yeah.
Never heard that before.
I hadn't either. I just thought it was kind of an interesting, but that was one of the leading stories they led with this week. So, we up here, we've even got a little hurricane coverage.
Okay. Wow. That's what the local news is. That, house fires, and emergency landings.
Yep.
That's really what it is.
I had sent this to Garry and Leslie last night. I don't know if these are real or not. I just thought they were pretty funny.
I got to guess they're not, but hey, anything's possible these days. I like black licorice and I like pork and all that, but together I don't think so. But this could be a fake, right?
It could. It just popped up. Leslie was talking about pumpkin spice, so everybody's kind of taken on the Halloween stuff. So I saw that, and then we had talked about high electric bills before we went live here, and I know how we like eyes on this show, so.
Oh, that second one, that could be somebody's going to die young there, not because of anything but the cocaine.
And of course, it's very credible with its popular spelling of marijuana at the top.
Yes, yes. Marijuana. So, a little Wisconsin news. This was last week. A milk truck and a FedEx truck collided. You sometimes see like Amazon trucks spilling stuff. So, and it looked like it was a pretty bad accident in Dodge County. So they had milk all over and packages all over. Mm-hmm. So there's the other side. So you can see the milk and the packages. So that was big news. Big news in Dodge County. There must not be a lot going on, but it looks like they collided pretty well. So I think
so. Yeah.
Yeah. So otherwise, it's just a lot of I see a lot of Halloween decorations, and everybody's gearing up for October around here.
Yes, because guess what tomorrow is? October 1st.
October. Yeah. And I keep seeing more pictures on Facebook of Dieter and his snow. So it's kind of getting us in the mood for Christmas. And
well, he's making
holidays.
Snow for commercials, TV shows, what have you, and he does that all year. But
now it's like we're headed to December, and all of a sudden we see the lawn covered in snow, and it's like wait a minute, it's not December yet, but
no,
he does.
But you'll be getting snow probably in a week or so in Waukesha, right?
Yeah. Henry saw frost on the car, and he said, "Well, if it stays this cold, Dad, will I have snow when I get out of school?" I said, "No, honey, you got a little longer to go." But he's pumped for snow.
It seems like we just had the AC on, and Leslie, you said you had the furnace on last night, and just listening to ka-ching. They should have that on the furnace, so you are really aware of using it. Ka-ching about every 15 minutes. Ka-ching.
It's as much as that. I mean, when I hear that thing kick on, it's like, shoot, I could just
worse than the AC.
Money going
Is it worse than the AC electric wise?
Depends. Yeah,
really
depends how hot you run it. I'm not looking forward. I haven't had the dog in the winter, and the dog likes to go for walks, so it'll be interesting trudging out in the snow with the dog. But maybe I'll find some interesting stuff in the winter. But I'm not necessarily looking.
Flynn loves snow, hates rain. If it's raining and we go out, he'll stand there for 10 seconds and want to go back in. Snow, loves to jump and run through the snow.
Yeah, I just don't know if I like walking in the cold with the dog, but we'll find out.
Yes, you will.
Yes, we will.
You will. So. All right. Is that your whole report?
That is everything. Yeah, we just did a light one this week because we weren't sure how things were going.
Yeah, because Alan was undecided.
Yeah, we were still so.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep. Have a good weekend.
Okay. And Leslie has assembled some stories.
And with that, should we set up the giveaway?
Let's do some sponsorship here. That's why we're doing this and can do this. Yeah. Bettenhausen Automotive is one of the fine sponsors.
The highway awaits at Bettenhausen Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Tinley Park. Right now, during Highway 93, get 0% for 36 months on a new 2022 Dodge Charger or Challenger. Lease a new 2022 Dodge Challenger or Charger. Your choice, only $359 per month. Get to Bettenhausen now and choose from the area's best selection. Share your adventure at #Dodge HWY93. Your best Dodge buying experience starts now at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
And Team Hochberg, I saw where the rates are in the sixes. When David was on a number of months ago, he said threes. It's threes. Now it's in the upper sixes. This whole thing is wiggy. And you can't just sit there and pretend like you're going to go through this alone. No. Why don't you call for the free consultation? That's what they do at Team Hochberg. Free consultation. Hopefully you'll do business with them after they explain everything that you need to know. Those are the numbers on the screen. David's the guy. And I know he can be very tough, but he wants to save you money. I'd rather have someone to be tough and save you money than be genteel and go, I don't know, whatever you want to do. No, his whole deal is to save you money. And he tells it like it is. And it is in the sixes.
6.7, I think I saw most recently.
Yeah, exactly. And look, this is my roast to order bag. It's empty now. I got to order more. Mike Maskow is with us, the proprietor. He's on the comment section there. Yes, roast to order coffee and tea. That's the coffee and tea you should be drinking. It's organically grown. It's where he's taking care of the rainforest, if you think that's important. He takes care of the people that harvest it as far as giving them a fair wage. And it's all good. That's good karma. And I want to have, along with good coffee, good karma in the coffee. And don't cry over spilt milk. Yes. If it's on the highway with a FedEx truck, don't cry over that. That's none of your business. Roasttoorder.shop. There's the website. And you can give that as a gift card. It ships anywhere in the country. It'll be there in a few days. It's all good. It really is. And he's such a nice guy, as we've seen on this program. Every month he comes on and gives away gift cards to lucky winners. And he'll be doing that next month, which is starting tomorrow. And we'll have him on in the next couple of weeks again. So roasttoorder.shop right there. He's got the pods. Those are recyclable if you like to use the pods. There's the GarrForce mug nestled up against the canisters to store your coffee. I got my scooper from Roast to Order. You got your press. You're using your press. You like your press.
Yep.
It's all good.
Life is good.
It
Thank
is.
you. Thank
It
you,
is.
Mike
Thanks,
Maskow.
Mike. Pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice. So
Does he have? He doesn't have a pumpkin spice flavored coffee, does he?
he did. Didn't he
Does
say?
he?
Yeah, I'm
I thought
pretty
he was
sure.
kidding.
Oh, okay. So this is
What is
something we
that?
should be talking about very well. Hold on. First, let's set up the giveaway.
Yes. What's the hashtag? Dreamsicle.
There you go.
Boom.
Because
Let's show people
how
what they're.
simple and sweet was that drink. That's my favorite kind of cocktail, like a screwdriver. What is it? It's vodka. It's orange juice. You don't need a whole hell of a lot of learning.
Hey, wait a minute. You know, we've been talking about, hey, watch the show on YouTube, and I'm seeing a lot of Facebook still in there.
Yeah.
Is it that difficult to switch if you're used to going onto Facebook?
Not
Because
really.
we want the YouTube concentration of viewers because that's good for us. Alan,
Please.
that isn't difficult, is it?
No, it's real easy to sign up. Go to youtube.com. If you got a Gmail account, you already have some access to YouTube right there to sign up.
Yeah.
All you got to do is find the GarrForce Live. That's the name of our channel. GarrForce Live, one word.
Okay, please go to YouTube and watch.
Click like it, click subscribe it. You'll get a little bell icon. You can click on it. It'll give you notifications if you got notifications enabled.
All right. Good, good,
Yeah,
good.
you don't have to share personal information or anything like that. But yeah, definitely watch it on that YouTube platform.
Okay, Leslie, what will people be shooting for this week besides the condom?
So, okay, I put this together and I don't even know what's in it anymore. Once again, this is from Scott of Scott's Antiques in, what is that? Scott's Vintage Antiques in North Aurora, Illinois. He sent me a cool doggy bag, but I threw some of the things swag that he sent me inside. Oh, this is, golly, there's a lot going on here. Hold on a second. Okay, so we have fortune-telling fish. We have a couple of those.
Always good.
We have a patch that says utility. We have some more Desert Storm trading cards. We have Somebody Loves Me, a flip book. We've got a Big Boy, signed Big Boy card, and a pin that says Bruno. And we don't talk about Bruno, but there it is. It's Bruno.
Okay, there it is.
Of course, that and a wine condom. God.
What about a ball liquor?
Whoever wins this week, you have won the jackpot and a ball liquor.
A ball liquor for your golf balls.
Holy shnikes,
Yeah,
folks.
thanks
There's
to
a whole
Tracy
lot
for that
going
too.
on there.
Tracy's sister sells those. Tracy bought those and sent them to you to give away. Thank you, Tracy. We appreciate that. Now, getting back to watching this on YouTube, if we get to a certain number of viewers, I believe, yes, Ryan's going to throw in some more stuff
I
to
mean,
give away.
generous stuff.
Yeah.
Seriously
Yeah.
generous
I mean, stuff that you can really use. Not that this isn't good stuff, but
oh, come on.
like
yeah.
gas
who
cards,
doesn't want fortune
like a
telling?
gas card, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tease. But yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
All right. All right. So let's do your stories and then we'll hit that computer button.
Okay, as we teased prior to this, the pumpkin spice phenomenon has officially jumped the shark. A company called Angelic Diamonds has created what's being called the world's first pumpkin spice latte ring, and it ain't cheap. Priced at $11,300, the ring sports what its makers call a whipped cream shaped center diamond surrounded by white diamonds and emeralds in a cup shaped setting intended to mimic a cup of latte. The band is engraved with the words pumpkin spice. And they say even the box it comes in is intended to evoke the whole pumpkin spice experience, as it's made to look like a cardboard coffee cup holder. And it's infused with pumpkin fragrance.
And it was on the screen there. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is why we need the Webb telescope, because we really need answers. We're giving away or they're selling pumpkin spice rings here.
For $11,000. But I mean, I guess if somebody is way into pumpkin spice, that would be like the perfect engagement ring.
As OJ would say, Leslie, that is one ugly ass ring.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
But, OJ was sporting an ugly ass ring too. Those Super Bowl rings, kind of chunky.
Well, they're all diamonds and stuff. They're gaudy.
Yeah.
And that's what they
They
want.
weigh about 7 pounds a
Right.
piece, but they're on those big muscular fingers that look like those
Yes.
Halloweenies that we showed earlier.
Those black licorice weenies.
The Federal Communications Commission is telling companies with satellites to clean up after themselves. The agency decided this week to require operators of satellites to safely dispose of those satellites within 5 years of mission completion. FCC Chair Jessica Rosenworcel says, quote, "It will mean more accountability and less risk of collisions that increase orbital debris and the likelihood of space communication failures." She points out that of the 10,000 or so satellites that have been launched since 1957, more than half aren't working anymore. They're just floating up there, cluttering up the sky.
Okay. And what's her name again? Wuzenhuizen?
Isn't that a great
What was
name?
that name?
Jessica Rosenworcel.
Rosenworcel. That's her name. Okay.
Officials in Great Britain have announced an official cause of death for Queen Elizabeth II.
Shocker.
Her death certificate states that the 96-year-old monarch died of quote unquote old age. That is all.
I like when they do this with elderly people and say they're doing an autopsy to determine the person's 95 years old, or in Queen Elizabeth's case, 96. Yeah, I think we get it. Old age, right? But they still go, no, she died of cancer or whatever that is on people who are 90 something. I'm going with old age.
It just seems like quaint. Natural causes.
Right.
Yeah, at 96, pretty much anything can be
Too
a
soon, damn
natural
it.
cause.
Too soon.
I know. Oh, golly. And by the way, story came out today about young Prince George. And he's already got a little bit of that royal, attitude going, where he's told children at his grammar school that, do you know that my dad's going to be king one day? So don't F with me. I mean, in so many words, is already pulling the, don't you know who my dad is?
Yeah, well, he's got that card. That's a pretty exquisite card to have.
It's a sweet card.
Yeah.
And finally, a man in Michigan has pleaded guilty to murdering and eating part of another man, a man named Kevin Bacon. This occurred back in 2019. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but 52-year-old Mark David Latunsky appeared in court this week, admitting to the stabbing and dismemberment of Mr. Bacon, who he met on Grindr the night before the murder. If convicted, Mr. Latunsky is looking at life in prison.
Yeah, we need that Jeff Dahmer movie more than ever to learn.
But his name was Kevin Bacon. I mean, it's right. And John Hamm is going, uh-oh.
Okay. I see what you're doing there.
You see what I'm doing? It's nominative determinism.
Yes. Let's push the button, Ellen. See who's going to win that prize package. Here we go. Want to say hello to somebody?
I'd like to say hi to my husband.
Hey, it's WRLR.
RLR.
There's
Hey,
Charles. All right, Charles. You know what to do, I hope. Ellen, tell him.
Send Garry a message at Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com or text 1-773-888-2157, I think. Something like that.
RLR.
With your name and address. And that way, Leslie, there's the number. That way, Leslie can get all those goodies into the USPS and help our postal service continue to deliver the mail. They actually delivered the mail during the hurricane. There was a bunch of junk mail that managed to survive in my mailbox through the hurricane.
Wow. Well, rain, sleet, snow, that whole thing. But you go to the post office and think these people aren't into it because it's a lifetime job. There's no way they can get fired, and they're going to take their time, which they do at the post office I go to. Oh. They don't care.
And it's got to pay pretty well. The couple at the next table over from me on the Disney Wonder in Alaska, on the last day, we were chit-chatting with them before we left the ship, and they told us, yeah, they were lifelong postal workers.
Okay. Well, that's a redundant statement.
Yes, of course. Civil service. Yes.
Exactly. Indeed. All right. Thank you for watching, and we're back on Monday. Here comes that cannoli. It is beautiful cannoli. Take it, coming down the aisle. There, nice cannoli. What about the schnauzer to kick off October, Leslie?
You know, with all the hurricane news and all that stuff, you know what? I would rather just dip a schnauzer in a dreamsicle, and that seems like a...
All right. It is 3 in the green. Gear is down. Flaps are down. The voice of the globe, the GarrForce. I can't believe it's October. We've landed.
Oh, shoot.
I know.
Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And please tell your friends and family to like and subscribe too.
All right. Yeah.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Boom. Shakalaka.